We all have that voice within us that either guides us to the light or seeps us into darkness. And that voice within us is dictated by either you or the world. In this modern day and age, we are faced with many distractions. We go with what we hear, what we see, what we're told to believe, other than what we see the world as, what we believe in, our truth, our values, our opinions, our belief system in general. We no longer follow that. We no longer follow that voice within us anymore, which is trying to guide us, which is trying to tell us the truth. And the thing is with this, is it's up to you to either find that voice, accept that voice, or let the world take over and your truth lie in the shadows and lie dormant. And the truth is, we all have that voice inside us. You're probably trying to think of it right now, to find it right now. That truthful voice, right? But it's drained out. It's drained out by all that we see, all that we hear. And because of all that we hear and all that we see is negative, that voice becomes negative. That's why we have so much self-doubt, self-negative talk nowadays, because everything we see is negative. So we're going to think that way. We're going to lead that way. The voice is going to become that. It becomes what it sees. It becomes what it consumes. And you follow that. And that's why you always have this negative self-talk with yourself. And that's why I have found myself having negative talk with myself as well. Because before I decided to get on a good path for myself, I was on a bad one. Following a negative path. Following all that I heard, all that I saw, other than going with what I wanted to do. Where I should have been going down. Becoming who I should have become. And it's dangerous. Because everything that we see, because it's negative, because it's trying to guide us away from who we truly are, who we truly could be, and it's trying to instead guide us to all become the same, all just become robots, right? You need to try and dig deep, to try and find that voice within you, to accept it, to take it upon you, and live by it. Because that voice within us gives us clarity and truth. It gives us clarity in the retrospect of, it tells you the truth. Clarity is truth. It gives you the truth to all that you know, all that you question. It gives you the answers, clarity. So the thing is, that voice within us is just lying dormant. We no longer listen to it, we listen to what we hear, what we see, as I said. So if you try and actually go looking for that voice, you dig deep and you go find it, you find a lot of peace, a lot of truth, a lot of clarity to the answers you've been looking for, the guidance you've been looking for. It's all within you. And I know it can be difficult to find and to even look for, because we've consumed so much, because we've heard so much, because we've been told so much, so that we feel it doesn't exist anymore. You're probably trying to find it and you're like, you don't realise that you are the voice. It's not just a voice within you, that you are the voice. And that's why you have to control everything that you see, everything that you hear. Because all that you hear that is negative, which is basically everything nowadays, is dictating that voice, it's dictating you in your life. So I know it's hard to find that voice, but you are the voice. And your environment and the things you're consuming dictate who you are, which then dictates that voice within you and how it guides you, and how either it seeps you into darkness through all that you consume, or guides you to the light with all you choose to accept. And most people ignore this voice within them. You've probably found it before, you've probably heard it before, but the thing is, as I said, it gives you the harder path, it gives you the truth, and that's why most people ignore it, because of fear. Fear of going down a harder route, having to trek down a harder path, follow that harder guidance, that tougher route, where you're going to have to do things you've never done before. You're going to have to push yourself and literally question everything you hear, everything you see. You're going to have to go down an uncomfortable path, and that's why most people choose to ignore the voice, because it tells them the truth. They're not willing to hear the truth, they're not willing to follow and live by it, because comfort is easier than introspection. They don't want to have to question things. They don't want to have to go down that harder path, as I said. They instead run away from it. They instead ignore that voice, cut it off, and just go with everything they see and everything they hear, and they just live by that, expecting that it is the right path, expecting that it is telling them the truth, when it's doing everything but that. It's not about just your voice. You've been told to follow your heart before, follow your head before. They very much go hand in hand. When you follow your heart, you go with what you know is the correct thing, or could be the correct thing to follow. Same with that voice within you. It lies deep. You just gotta try and find it, and you just gotta try follow it. And what I found since listening to the voice within me is it changes everything. Because the inner voice within you is a compass. It tries to guide you towards the light. And the reason why you found that it's trying to guide you towards the darkness, as I said many times before, is because of the consumption. But if instead you use it as a compass, you control what you see, what you hear, and you use it to guide you instead, it's going to guide you down a very good path. It's going to guide you to the truth, and that's what you need to hear, because most people don't want to hear it, and they don't listen to it. They don't listen to that truth. But the truth has always been there within you. You know that. You've heard it before. You chose to cut it off and deny it. But instead, use that voice, that truth, as your compass to guide you in life. Guide you to do certain things, to push you to do certain things, to believe in certain things. Align with it, and your life becomes more powerful, disciplined, intentional towards the things you do, and towards the person you know you should become. And the truth is, you've known the way all along. That voice has always been there. It's just about following it and accepting it and taking it in your stride and living by it. In everything you do, first listen to the voice. What has it got to say? Is it telling you not to do this thing because it's bad for you? Is it telling you to do this thing instead? To go to the gym, to go push yourself with these hard tasks because you know it could be good for you, because you know it's the truth? What is it telling you? Take a minute to listen to it, to understand it, and go with it. Don't listen to that negative side which the world is telling you to follow, and which now the voice is telling you to follow because you've listened to the world too much. Go with that inner, that deeper voice which is telling you the truth, which is trying to guide you to the light, and the light at the end of the tunnel, especially through a dark world. So, you already have the answers. So now it's time to sit with yourself, listen to the voice, act accordingly, because it's been lying dormant there this entire time, waiting for you to listen to it, to accept it. The time is now.